Hi guys, so today we're looking at the Mixolydian mode, and I'm going to show you the easiest way in which to turn this mode just into a scale, and then I'll show you the easiest way how to remember it. It all relates back to a major scale, okay? So if you haven't seen my major scale video, go have a look at that now, and we just build up from there. Okay, here we go. We're going to turn a C major scale into a C Mixolydian mode. It's really simple. So all you do is you take the same scale degree numbers, okay? So we're going to look at the C Mixolydian mode. And the first degree is the same, because we're looking at a C Mixolydian mode. The second degree is the same. The third degree is the same. The fourth degree, F, that's the same. The fifth degree is the same. The sixth degree is the same. The only degree that you change is the seventh, okay? And you flatten it. So the seventh degree, or the seventh note in the C major scale, or any major scale, goes down one semitone, or down one fret, or down one key on a guitar. So the B would go down to B flat. So all we're doing is we're taking the seventh degree and flattening it. And so it would go down a semitone, down one fret on a guitar, or down one key on a piano. So in a C major scale, the B would go down a semitone to B flat. And so turning the C major scale, that's how you turn it into a Mixolydian mode. So that's the C Mixolydian mode. So if you wanted an A Mixolydian mode, you'd start off, you'd write the A major scale, and then you'd flatten the seventh degree, one semitone, okay? That's all you would do. If you wanted the G Mixolydian mode, you'd just write down the G major scale, and then flatten the seventh degree down a semitone. And now I'll show you how to play it. Alright guys, so now we have the theory on how to take a major scale and to turn it into a Mixolydian mode. It's really simple. Remember, you're just flattening the seventh note, or the seventh degree in the major scale. That's all you're doing, just changing that one note. So if you're taking a C major scale, the seventh note in a major scale would be B, just turning it down, flattening it one fret to A sharp. That's it, or B flat. That's all that we're doing, and now I'm going to show you how to play it, and then I'll give you a close-up. Alright, here we go. Guys, so because we're doing a C Alright guys, so because we're doing a C Mixolydian mode, we're going to start off playing in the 8th position with our second finger on this C note, okay? So the first thing you do is you have your second finger on the 8th fret of the low E string. That's the C, that's the first note. Then your pinky on the 10th fret of the low E string. Drop down a string, your first finger on the 7th fret of the A string, your second finger on the 8th fret of the A string, your pinky on the 10th fret of the A string, drop down a string, your first finger on the 7th fret of the D string, your second finger on the 8th fret of the D string, and your pinky on the 10th fret. So that's the first octave. So that's the first octave. And here's a major scale just to show the difference. So it's just that seventh note that's flattened. Or a major scale. So it's just that seventh note that's flattened. So just listen to the last three notes, yeah? So this is in a major scale. Very like there's a resolving sort of a sound. And this is the last three notes of the Mixolydian mode with the flattened seventh. Doesn't resolve really, does it? Major. Mixolydian mode. And to continue from there, pinky on the 10th fret of the D string. Drop down a string, first finger on the 7th fret of the G string, third finger on the 9th fret of the G string, pinky on the 10th fret of the G string, drop down a string and change position up to the 8th position, first finger on the 8th fret of the B string, third finger on the 10th fret of the B string, pinky on the 11th fret, drop down a string, and then first finger on the 8th fret of the high E string. I'll show that last octave again. So starting with pinky on the 10th fret of the D string. Put them both together. Now I'll show you close up. Alright guys, so now I'm going to show you how to play the C Mixolydian mode, yeah? So remember, in the C Mixolydian mode, you flatten the 7th degree, or the 7th note, okay? So in a C major scale, the 7th note is B. So we flatten that. So we're not playing any B's in this scale, we're playing A sharps or B flats, okay? So no B's, only A sharps or B flats. And here's how to play it. Start off with your second finger on the 8th fret of the low E string, pinky on the 10th fret of the low E string, drop down a string, first finger on the 7th fret of the A string, second finger on the 8th fret of the A string, pinky on the 10th fret of the A string, down a string, first finger on the 7th fret of the D string, second finger on the 8th fret of the D string, and pinky on the 10th fret of the D string. That's the first octave. And the 7th, which is normally a B, which is normally the 9th fret of the D string, gets flattened to the 8th fret. Okay? Continue from there. Pinky on the last C note, pinky on the 10th fret of the D string. Drop down a string. First finger on the 7th fret of the G string. Third finger on the 9th fret of the G string. Pinky on the 10th fret of the G string. Now change position, upper fret. First finger on the 8th fret of the B string. Third finger on the 10th fret of the B string. And pinky on the 11th fret of the B string. And that's the flattened 7th again. It's an 11th fret because it's a flattened 7th. It would be a 12th fret if it was a normal major scale. Continuing from the flattened 7th, which is the 11th fret of the B string, we drop down and our last note is the final C note, which is the 8th fret on the high E string. So show that last octave again. Both together. Easy, well done guys, you've done it. So the best thing about any of these scale or mode patterns or shapes that I show you is that one pattern or one shape can be used to play any Mixolydian mode, alright? So all you do is you take that pattern and you start it on a different fret. So it's a C Mixolydian mode because we're starting on a C note on the 8th fret. If we started on an A note on the 5th fret, we'd get the A Mixolydian mode. Exactly the same shape. C Mixolydian, and here's A Mixolydian. Exactly the same shape. G, B, B flat, and so on and so on. So well done, you've actually learnt all the Mixolydian modes. Well done. Well done guys, so you've learnt the Mixolydian mode, and remember, you just keep thinking of modes in the terms of what notes do you flatten, sharpen, or leave out altogether in terms of changing a major scale into a mode or another scale, okay? And so with the Mixolydian we just flatten the 7th, just that one note. And an easy way to sort of think of this is, what's your first note of any sort of major scale, yeah? If you're starting at point 1, if you're starting at the beginning. So I'll give you an example. If you're doing a C major scale, your first note's going to be C, yeah? Well, the 7th note in a major scale is just a fret behind that. So from C, it's going to be B. And if you flatten that 7th, it's going to be A sharp or B flat. So to think of it this way, if your 7th is always one fret behind your first note, then the flattened 7th is just going to be one fret again away. And it's just little things like that. Just keep going over little ideas like that in your head, and it'll sort of make the whole sort of grand scheme of things a little bit easier. And suddenly if you start thinking things like that, maybe you'll start using notes behind the scale that you didn't think of before. So it's taking those little ideas and sort of learning about the fretboard that way that you start to see the whole picture, and you start to see that you don't have to necessarily solo or create melodies in a little block or a pattern, because those notes are all repeated everywhere. And so just keep thinking of the guitar like that, and keep practicing all these modes, but a lot more exciting videos coming out that'll help you with everything from writing your own music to constructing chords coming out very, very soon. But keep practicing, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.